writing. It's all about how to write review papers, how to enhance H-indexed, and how to prepare for any manuscript so that it gets accepted, how to approach a good journals, and many more such related factors are being covered by the various international researchers and academicians in this E-FDP. Now, it's a fourth day, session one, and we have with us Dr. Lily Nurliana Abdullah. She is an associate professor in Department of Multimedia Computer Science in University Putre in Malaysia. She has more than 16 years of teaching experience in computer science, information system and technology, and multimedia. And moreover, the most interesting part in her profile is she has 683 citations in Google's Scholar, having 63 research papers in international journals, and 142 citation in Scopus journals, having 39 publications. She has done doctorate in information science in the year 2007. Her major field of specialization covers image processing, image visualization, virtual environment, SCI, and video processing. She has She has received many more rewards and recognitions in her tenure. And recently, in 2018, she has received recognition from Elsevier as outstanding contribution in reviewing. She is also editorial board member in Journal of Biostatics and Biometrics applications, and she has achieved many accolades in her pocket. And yes, it's our privilege to have you with us, ma'am. And today she will talk about how to prepare the project plans. And as far as I know, as an academician, every university demands from their professors to bring projects for the university or get the funded project. So preparing this project plan is one of the most important aspect of any academicians. So yes, definitely all the participants would definitely learn from your experience, ma'am. So I welcome you formally from Galgotias University for this E-FDP, and thanks for accepting our invitation. So yes, you can start your session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anamika, for your introduction. Not much of the wow factor from my experience and so on. It's just, our duty as an academician, researcher. We are now in not only R&D, but also RD, C, and E now, with all the development and, of course, the entrepreneurship. Right, so I have given this title, Research Plan, Project Plan. When we talk about project plan, right, so it's like everything that we wanted to do, we intend to do, we have to plan it. We are going for holiday, for example, we have to plan it, right? Even a small little things that we want to do it, we have to plan it. So now we are talking about the research project plan. As Dr. Anamika said just now, it's actually intent for research grant and so on. But I have prepared for the research student. But well, there is a similar things. I have been a reviewer for a lot of journals and also research grant and application. Okay, so I think with some knowledge that I have and experience that I have, I should be able to share my knowledge and experience with you all. Thank you for the invitation to this global E-FDP title, Unleashing Research Potential Global Trends and Practices. It's a very good start of event. It is a good collaboration with all the international universities and so on. Okay, so I'm Dr. Lily, as Dr. Anamika has introduced me. So I'm here with you just to share with some knowledge that I have. Okay, right. As student one, okay, this is as student. Okay, but you can also implement it in a research grant application and so on. It is similar. Okay, so usually when our user, our supervisor, okay, describe what she or he wanted us to do, this is what she meant. All right. But when you try to listen, and then you try to listen to your client, okay, try to listen to your supervisor, and this is what you understood. Okay. But when you start to implement it, all right, with all the hard works, with all the obstacles, with all the programming problems, with all the computer problem, hardware problem, software problem. Okay, so you could not reach to here, but this is the best that you can do. But when you run it, execute it, it becomes like this. So this is the result that you get. Okay, and then when you want to report it, you have nothing to report. It's just a blank ground, okay, without a house that your supervisor, your client wants. Okay, it's just a simple house. Okay, but when you understood, when you try to listen to him or her, carefully focus, you, oh, I think they want this one. But when you try to start to implement it, this is what you get. But the result is not this, is this, with all the buggings there, the bugs here, bugs there, error here. And when you want to report it, you can't report anything. And why this happened? Okay, why this happened? Because we do not have a plan from the start. We do not have a communication plan. We do not have a performance plan. We do not have all the plans that we need to have. Okay, the scope, the time, the budget, if we are involving in budget, right? So if you are applying application, a grant application, you need to put a budget on it. So how do you plan to use the budget? That is what is the amount that you should put into your application. Okay, so there is a says every research project requires planning, and the better planning it is, the more successful the project. Okay, so there are a lot of failures in project implementation. Why? Mostly because of the bad planning. Yes, they have planned. Okay, you are saying that you need to plan. Okay, we plan, but it still doesn't work. Why? Because it's a bad plan. Because we do not like going thoroughly, okay, over this plan, and we do not make the plan work. We do not follow the plan. We do not monitor ourselves according to the plan that we have made. So that is why the more time that you have spent on this planning is better for your project, and your project will be successful one. Okay, so a lot of says lah. Okay, you can find it everywhere, especially now, right? Our information is on our fingertips. So every good research starts with a plan. Although say, hey, I'm a student. Okay, even we do our final year project in the degree level, diploma level, we still need to have plan. Okay, so because according to this plan, makes our project successful, makes our project runs well, right? And of course, this is a very, very most important task that we should begin with. It's not like we straight away jump to face our computer, to sit down in front of our computer and start do our coding. What to do? Okay, before doing the planning and so on. Okay, instead of like you have 1 year, now you are spending like more than 2 years. But a lot of people, they are complaining. I have spent like 1 semester. I have spent like, okay, I know, I'm sure for grant application, usually we are given a very short period to apply for a grant, right? So it's like, we don't have much time on plan. We just sit in front of the computer and fill up the forms. Okay, so when we, that is where our application got rejected, because our plan It's not that because our project is not important, our project is not a good one, okay, our project is not the recent one. No, most of the rejected application is because of the write-up of the planning. We can see, as a reviewer, we can see that you do not plan well for your research. You do not know what is the next thing to do, what is the next thing to do. We can see that in your write-up. But this, happens because we have other things to do and so on, right? And suddenly, you have 1 month time to start fill up the form, and then by the time you are looking for the collaborators, you are looking who wants to do it, you are looking for students to do it, right? If you are doing even the PhD dissertation, PhD work, PhD project research, you still have to find who's your supervisor, and so on, right? Which university that you want to go, and so on. When you apply, it's like you have nothing to fill up. That is what happened, like I showed you just now. Okay, so that is why we need a research plan. That is why this title is so important in global E-FDP event, right? So what is research plan? It actually provides the overall structure, procedure for the researcher to follow. We want to see the data that the researcher would like to collect. We would like to see also how the researcher plan to analyze the data. And we would like also to see how the researcher reports the result. This is research plan. Okay, meaning that in the application form, in your proposal, right? Okay, actually research plan were resulting in a proposal actually if you are doing a PhD or a postgraduate studies, right? With a roughly project plan, you will get a very good research proposal. Okay, so what we can say is actually a research plan is your aim, your objective on why you want to do this work, how you want to do this work, when do you want to start to do this work, what are the resources that you need to do this work, and what do you expect to produce and contribute from this work. Okay, so this is what we want to see in the research plan, right? So, okay, a lot of definition you can get what is research plan. Okay, you can see it in books. There are a lot of books. There are nothing much new because the flow is still the same, but the methods are the things that make things new. Okay, so there are trends, right? So before this is like computer vision, and then it's a hidden Markov model, and now it's like deep learning. Everyone is talking about deep learning, and then now we have big data, and then now we have this robotics, and now we have AR and VR, and so on. These are the trends. Okay, but the main process, the main steps is more or less still the same. Okay, this is the foundation that we have to follow. Okay, so to make it effective, of course, you need to deliver accordingly. And of course, you have to produce, okay, a write-up that has everything. That the reviewer, that your supervisor will believe that, oh, yeah, I think this one can be done. Okay, yes, this one can be done in the time that given and so on. Okay, so it can be as complex as you want to be, meaning that you can write it so detailed, or it can be as simple as you want it to be. It can be a point form. There is no standard write up. Okay, this is how you should write and stuff. Yeah, there is a template and so on. Okay, but it's as long as you understand what you want to do, what you intend to do, and how to do it. Okay, is okay. You can detail up, or you can just make it as simple as you want. Okay, but it has to come with a milestone or Gantt chart that makes you keep on track. Okay, I may put down, I want to collect data, I want to do programming, I want to go to the field, and I want to go here and want to go there, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to write 3 journals and so on. But when do you start to write journals? When do you start this phase? This is the things that make you on track. And of course, with this research plan, you can monitor yourself. Okay, so that the project goes along the way, right? Okay, so if you're a student, right? So it's important that you make sure your supervisor are on the same page. Means she agrees with you, he agrees with you, with the scope, with the timeline, with the objective. Okay. If you are the applicants, right? So it's the same thing. Make sure that your reader, your reviewer, okay, agree with the scope, the budget that you ask. Okay, since this is for students, right? I do not put budget, but if you are applicants, you have to do budgets. So as long as your reviewer, your reader, your audience understand and agree with the scope, the timeline, the objective, and the budgets, then you are okay, right? So you will need to convince them that the project that you propose is viable in the time scale that you propose, 2 years. Okay, usually grant application is for 2 years, 3 years. Okay, for PhD research work usually 3 to 4 years. For master, usually research and for research master, we usually will take like 1.5 to 2 years. Okay, 2 or sometimes up to 3 years. Why? Because of the planning and because of the monitoring and focusing on the plan. Okay, that is why students sometimes go up at the. We have in UPM we have until 10 years PhD student. That means it's like what 20 semester. Okay, so that should be like questionable lah. Why are we still allowing him or her, continue, and yet we know that she or he did not produce anything. Okay, so then we have improvised our procedures and so on. So I think now it's like cannot go more than 10 semesters. That means it's 5 years lah, more or less. Okay. And make sure that you have the skills to do it on the method that you choose, okay, and the things that you want to solve. Okay, usually a lot of students or applicants, they are confused with research plan and research methodology. These are the two different things. Okay, research plan, research methodology is inside this research plan. Okay, so these are two. Do not confuse with these two terms. Okay. All right, so I have this camel chart or camel diagram. Why is it called camel? It looks like camel. Okay, this is the hump of the camel, right? So these are the phases that you usually do. Okay, project, research project or any project. Okay, so these are the effort, the time and the effort that you need to contribute for this the whole research work. Okay, so at the beginning, of course, you have to plan the work, right? But make sure we work the plan. This is also important. Okay, you may blame the supervisor. You asked me to plan, I already planned. You agree the plan already. But why are still, we are still behind the work, behind the time and so on, because we do not work on the plan that we have made. We plan, we keep it. Right, so this is so wrong, right? Okay, so of criteria of a good effective research plan is you should have these 4 things. Make sure that it's universal, means that when whoever read your research plan, they understand, and even they can implement themselves. They know what to do. And it has to be a measurement. That means there is something for you to measure, meaning that you want to measure this performance. Your performance, you wanted to achieve this 90% of accuracy, means that. So means that you know what to use to measure this accuracy. Okay, you want to measure, your research plan is include a scope, means that your objective is there, your user is there, your time is there, and so on. Okay, And then make sure your research plan helps you to control. That is why we need to embed the Gantt chart, the milestone inside our research plan. No matter it's a grant application or your research PhD or master research plan. Okay, you have to put your Gantt chart for you to control yourself. Oh no, I'm so late, Oh no, I'm so behind, I'm supposed now to collect data, but I'm yet still in literature review. Okay, so these are the things that it can help you to monitor and foresee what happened. Okay, the research plan also can help you if there is a risk happen. Okay, because now, right, suddenly there is a COVID-19 all over the world. And we are now, because of this COVID-19 also, COVID-19, yeah, it also helps us to collaborate. The world is so small now. Okay, I can be India can be in Malaysia now, anytime, anywhere, right? So these are the risks. So what should you do? Okay, so most of the students, they panic, right? So they do not know what to do, and then they will like blame the big COVID-19 things. That is why we need to extend our study. So because your research plan do not put the risk management there. Okay, so this is where your research plan is also important. Same goes to the grant application, right? If there is a risk, okay, sometimes it's not okay. Let's say not COVID-19 things. We have let's say we have flood, we have earthquake, right? So these are all the tragedies, all the things that can happen anytime. But do you put inside your research plan? Okay, and last criteria that you need to put in your research plan is replication. Means that this is a blueprint. Okay, a research plan is a blueprint that we can go back and go back, refer and to refer, so that we are on track. The word is on track. Okay, we have to follow our plan so that we are on track in the terms of scope. We are on track, not only time, okay, but the scope. We are not like going lower or upon or beyond and so on. Okay, and always remind us what to do next, what to do now, and what to do before and so on. So these are the 4 criteria that makes your research plan effective one. Universality, measurement, control, and replication. Right? Okay, so factors to concern and to achieve this, the 4 things that we have mentioned just now, of course, is the scope. Means that all the requirements, all the defined problem statements, your objective, your aim, all is here. And then with the schedule, this is the Gantt chart, this is the milestone, okay, and you have to follow this. And the performance, these are the result that you want to see. How do you plan to measure this result, the data, the things that you get, the result that you get, and how do you report it? Okay, and methodology, and these are the things that people always confuse, the research plan and the research methodology. Okay, so you cannot just simply, okay, I will use deep learning because now it's trend. All right, one of the factors is trend also. Okay, so why people are using deep learning now? Why are you still using a hidden Markov learning, hidden Markov model, or why are you still using unsupervised learning and so on and so on? Okay, so yeah, this is the one. So, but of course, has to be your research skills first, and then choose your correct research methods. Means that it can be qualitative, it can be quantitative, it can be active research, it can be case study research. A lot of things then, and be ethical. If you have to apply for ethical, that means if you use animals, you have to apply for the allow to use the animals and so on. If you have to use data, okay, from your participants, from your subjects, from your samples, you have to ask permission, and so on. Okay, and then your communication. Plan your communication. Okay, if you're a student, plan your communication with your supervisor. how frequent that you need to see your supervisor. What happened is something occurs, although like okay, we are supposed to meet next week, but something happened now today. So how can you communicate? So plan well. Okay, if you want to go to WhatsApp, we have WhatsApp now. You want to go with email, okay, formal, okay, you go with email. Okay, then after you have met, what do you need to write? What do we have a logbook? That is what the logbook is used for. Okay, but okay, logbook is old school, all right. So you have your notepad, okay, or whatever. After meeting, you write a report and then endorsed by your supervisor. So make two parties agree on what you have discussed. Because sometimes, okay, again, the house that I show you just now, right? You understand this is what your supervisor wants, but she thought you understand, you thought that you understand, these are the things that report is so important. Okay. And sometimes, there are students, in my experience, there are students, coming back next meeting saying that, no, you didn't tell me. No, you say you can. No, you say you agree. These are the things when we do not agree on something, we do not endorse on something. Okay. These are the things that might happen. They can argue with us that, no, in last meeting you say yes, now you say cannot. Okay, and these are the things. Okay, I know we have a lot of doctors here, right? I'm sure you face this kind of thing. The students were like, coming back for the next meeting, they were saying, no, you agree on this. No, you didn't say this. And this is this. So if we have a report and we agree, okay, on both parties, then this will secure the communication. All right. And of course, what we are communicating, of course, on the progress, on the project issues, on the lesson learned. Okay. Okay. Last experiment, I did this and this and this, and I found out this and this and again. Okay. So you share the information with your supervisor. Okay. And I think most of the students have their own group, have their own circle of friends, the same similar area like security, multimedia, big data, so on. So they have their circles of group, distribute the information, share the information. Okay, and build on relationship means that you and your friends, how the relation should be, you and your supervisor, how the relation should be. Okay, so this plan is these factors, these features, these are the things that you need to put in your plan. Okay, if you're talking about application, grant application, it's the same thing. Okay, you need scope, you need schedule, you need performance. That means the reviewer, okay, can see that, oh, you already see what happened and how you want to solve it. So we are confident to give you the money. We are the funder, right? We want to give you money. But when you write something like it's so bland, like it's so general, everything had, you can find what is SDLC, you put up SDLC, but there's no relation to your project, how you want to solve all these SDLC things, phases and so on. You did not relate to your project. And so we can see, if I do give you this amount of money and yet you are asking like 500,000, okay, USD. So if I'm about to give you this 500,000 USD, of course I'm looking at every detail, right? So that is why and how you should plan very well. Okay, so then we come up with a document. Again, we can say all now is digital, but still it's a document. Instead of hard copy and soft copy, but it's still a document. So this is the general or basic elements that inside a research project plan. Okay, of course the title, and of course the abstract, or sometimes we call it executive summary. In grant application, we call it executive summary, okay, or summary. Okay, but in research, yes, we call it abstract, right? So background and introduction, the research question and hypothesis, of course, coming out from the problem statement that you have read. aims and objective, literature review, research methodology, the Gantt chart and the milestones, and the resources that you need, and how do you perform the evaluation. That means the performance just now. Okay, and then of course some references. Okay, this is the basic elements. I'm not saying this is a must, or I'm not saying this is the only things. No. Okay, so we will see one by one. Okay, so what is the title all about? Okay, in my experience, it depends on the grant that you are applying. Okay, if you are grant applicants, it depends on the types of grant that you're applying, right? We in Malaysia, we have different types of grant. For example, fundamental research grant. We have like a prototype research grant. We have industrial linkage research grant and so on, right? So it depends on that lah. Okay, and if you're a student, okay, if you're a research student, actually is the title should include what you want to do, what do you want to achieve, using what. Okay, for example, let's say what deep fake. Okay, deep fake now, right? It's a trend, right? Where we can use our face on other people's body, okay, copy paste and so on, and then we say, hey, see, I now getting this award, I'm now getting this award, and this artists, famous people doing this famous people doing this. These are the deep fake, right? Okay, deep fake, what deep fake to train no to train. Okay, I want to give an idea of the bad one, the not very so good one. Okay, deep fake, social media and deep fake, because most of the deep fake now happens in social media, right? Okay, social media and deep fake. This is my title. Is it accurate? It's concise, yes, but when you say social media and deep fake, do you have the purpose inside this? Okay, and is it unambiguous? Means that when I say social media and deep fake, are we talking two other meanings or only one meanings, and so on? Is it clear enough, clarity enough? Okay, so it's better that we put that to increase detection. Okay, for example, detecting defect in social media. Okay, better one, a little bit better. Okay, but how about to increase the efficiency in detecting defect in social media using deep learning? That is much better. This is the one that reviewer wants. This is the one that when you're doing your Viva, okay, at the end of your study, of postgraduate study, master, this PhD, right? They will see this title. What do you want to do? How you want to do? And using what? Okay, what do you want to achieve? Right, so this is the title. Then we have the next part is the summary of abstract. Okay, for the applicants, grant application, you need to do a executive summary. Why executive summary? Because this is like so important. This is the first thing the reviewer read before reading the details. Okay, if you do not have a very good abstract or summary, if you do not explain anything in here, right? You are only saying that this, what is, you are only defining what is deepfake, what is social media. Okay, then of course, I am sure that the content doesn't have anything. Okay, so make sure this is written. You have to write it very carefully. Okay, to make sure that audience or reviewer, your supervisor, even your external examiner, your examiner, understand what you want to do. They will see a wow factor there. Wow, this is a good project. I want to see more. I want to read more. What is the result? What is the method that you use and so on. Okay, from the abstract. Right? So this is the synopsis, summary that you put in why you want to do this, the problem here, that is why you do this, the objective that your research work, the method that you use, the result that you are going to expect if you only apply. But if you're a research student that already finished your research study, you want to write a thesis, right? You have to write the result that you obtain and the impact to the community, impact to the knowledge, impact to the country and so on. Okay, so usually it's like only a page long. So that means you have to summarize it in a very, very good language and grammar and no typo, please. Right? So this is very, very important. Right, then only start with your background. It has to be written in context. That means full of definition, full of why, what happened, the theory that you want to use, to the practices now, the issues now, okay, is relevant, is up to date, and what can you contribute if you are doing the same project, if you are going to increase the efficiency, if you are going to detecting this and that, okay, and what is your why, okay, you do this project. So from the background, the reader understand that, okay, this is relevant. Yeah, this is the trend now. Okay, and yeah, these are the important things. Okay, most of the reviewer will see how important is your research is. Even your supervisor, okay, even the examiner, they will see like this. Why must you do this? We already have that and here and there. Why must you do again this thing? So that is why you have to justify why you need to do this research in this background, right? And the next, we want to call chapter, but the next part is our research question and hypothesis. So in a research grant application, they will ask for this. In research thesis, okay, it depends on our research. Some of the research do not need hypothesis, right? But some of the research, yes, need both and so on. Okay, so but in grant application, usually we have the hypothesis. We are required to fill in the hypothesis. Okay, so what is hypothesis? It's just a statement, anticipated behavior where usually is null. Okay, means like COVID-19 give a good impact to the students. Okay, equals to null. Okay, so you want to prove that. Okay, so usually this is a quantitative research. So that is why I'm saying if you do a qualitative research, usually we don't have hypothesis. But again, but some of the research need both lah, right? So this is to attempt that we want to prove that null is false. Okay, we want to prove that COVID-19 doesn't affect students. We want to prove that it's wrong. This is what hypothesis is. Research question is something that, what do you expect to find? What are the questions that you want to ask from your research project? Okay, and it should be like open, where, it should be like an open question so that you do not trap yourself into one small focused question that you need to use only deep learning. Okay, so if you ask that kind of question, it means you are trapping yourself. In future, you cannot change other methods, for example. Right? So that means you have to open up your question. It's not like so general that it's not relevant to your project. No, it's still related to your project, but a little bit focused. Okay, and it should be allowing for positive and negative informations. Right, so it doesn't mean that deepfake is a bad thing. Sometimes deepfake is good things, for example. Okay, Right, the next part it will be our aim and objective, right? So what is the difference between aim and objective? Aim is the bigger umbrella, the higher statements that you wish to explore, the deep fake, right? The objective is how I achieve this aim, how I answer the aim. Okay, that is objective. And a clear connection between research question and objective means that whatever you stated in your research question, there should be an objective to solve that. Research question should be a research objective to solve that. And it has to be smart. Okay, what is smart? I'm sure that all of you know lah what is smart. Specific. What else? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, or related, okay, realistic, and of course it's time bound, means that there is a time. 2 years is 2 years, 3 years is 3 years. Okay, so this is what we call the smart. It has to be smart. Okay, that is why again, when grant application, we as a reviewer usually will reject the grant application because of objective as well. Okay, we to study what is defect, to look into deep learning approach. How do you measure to study? How do you measure to look into? Okay, this is the smart thing. It's not specific enough. It's not measurable. Okay, for example, to have a user-friendly, this is again another common objective, to have user-friendly interface. Okay, you can say I can measure user-friendly. I can have questionnaire. Is it nice? Is it easy? Is it colorful? Is it understand? That you can define as user-friendly. But is it nice for you and is it nice for me is so different. I may say this is not nice. You may say it's nice. It's so subjective. So there is not a specific and it's very hard for us to measure. Okay, and then, okay, maybe you put a very big objective, okay, to solve every deepfake problem. So this is not achievable in that time period. Okay, so these are the things that we look into in objective. Okay, so usually again, for postgraduates, we would like to see 3 objectives. And we, in grant application as well, we would like to see 3 objectives as well. Okay, in master research, yeah, we can accept like 2, but a very impactful 2. Okay, so please take a note lah on that. Okay, the next one will be our literature review. Okay, this one again, from my experience, we will read the literature review before and after we already stated our research question. Okay, so same goes to students as well. Okay, they will put down their problem statements. They already jot down their problem statements, then only read. Okay, whatever they put down the problem statement, they find the keyword, they read from the Google or journals or conferences, proceedings, and so on. You understand what I mean? Means that I already like put in the problem of defect. Okay, there are so many. It's very hard to detect defect in social media. This is the problem. That is why I want to do detecting defect in social media, for example. Okay, so but actually, what we as a researcher should do is we read first. Not just roughly read abstract, read summary, read abstract, read summary, conclusion, read abstract, read conclusion. Done. I have read 200 papers. Okay, when I ask my student, I have read 200 papers. In 1 month time? In 1 month time. How do you read? Abstract, conclusion, abstract, conclusion. Okay, so that is not right. You have to do it, read it in depth, and finding answer. it's not only finding answer. You have to find the problem from the literature that you read, the journals that you read, the books that you read, the material that you read. You have to find from there, investigate from what you read. Oh, this is the latest method, but still, okay, it has like lackness here and there. It doesn't produce a very good result yet. Oh, these are the things that most of the people do. Okay, so I should follow this method. Okay, but that is why in the thesis or in the application itself, we want to have to look at most of the references that you put in, most of the things, material that you read are only the 5 years back. Okay, if not, it will be like outdated. People like not looking at it anymore. The problem is like considered soft. There is no more like deep fake nowadays, for example. Okay, because it's already soft. These people already achieve 90%, these people already achieve 99%, these people already achieve 100%. And why are you still doing it? Means that you do not read well. You do not read recent papers. Okay, to find the ideas and methods that you choose are relevant to the trend now. Okay, so and then why you read, you should ask yourself, why are they using this? How do they use this? What are the things that they're looking at? Okay, what is the result? Okay, these are the things. Okay, I always ask my students to put in a table form. So at the end of the reading, they can come up with critical ideas or critical comments on what they have read. It's not like only read page by page, but it does not mean anything to you. It's not related to your project, and you cannot like take this paper into your situation. Okay, so literature review again is another problem of why the reviewer, the examiner rejects most of the application and the thesis. Okay, now research methodology. Okay, where this is the part that you answer your research question, how you want to solve your research question. Just now, how you want to achieve, okay, your attempt to achieve the project aims and objective. Okay, and then you have to justify why are you using this technique, approach, or tools and so on. Okay, because other people do, because other people use. No, okay, because usually the question is, why do you choose this method? Because my supervisor asked me to use. Okay, because other people use this. But actually, you should try method A, B, C, D. After experiment with A, B, C, D, you found this C, method C, is the best for your situation. It's the best for your data. Then that is why you choose C. Okay, and the overall approach to the research project is what we call the research methodology, right? So we have the qualitative and then we have the quantitative. Under qualitative, we have a few more types, and then under quantitative also we have few more types. Okay, so we have like active research, we have active methodology, we have a lot more. Okay, so but the main thing is the qualitative and the quantitative, even the mix. Okay, even we have mixed research nowadays, right? So why do you choose qualitative, and why do you choose deep fake? Why do you choose deep learning? Why do you choose whatever method lah? Okay, so these are the things lah, right? And inside this research method, we will usually provide the Gantt chart. So this is where we control our time. Okay, you are given 3 years to finish your PhD, to finish your work. Okay, you are given 2 years to get result from your research grant. Okay, I will only fund you 20,000 for 2 years. Okay, so we would like to see how you spend your 2 years. We would like to see how you spend your 20,000, but it's not here lah. This is only the Gantt chart, right? So we would like to see, when do you use your money, when do you start work, when do you collaborate here, when do you go there, when you go this and go here. Okay, so that is why Gantt chart is very important. You can provide any other form, but Gantt chart is the common one where people understand. Okay, most people understand what is Gantt chart. Okay, then you have milestone as well. Milestone usually represent by this diamond. Okay, yellow diamond things means that this is the date that you need to achieve. Okay, in Gantt chart, it's just like, okay, for this 2 days I do this, for this 4 days I do this, for this 5 days I do this. Okay, but the milestone is a specific date where you need to achieve and produce the deliverables. For example, if I write here design complete, is design complete. Means that 29th of January, design should be completed. Okay. If I put here as present seminar or journal finish my report, so finish report here. So this is the date that you should have the deliverables. This is milestone. Okay, so usually we will combine in Gantt chart and milestone, or we have a separate one like this. Okay, sorry, we should have a separate one like this Gantt chart. Okay, this is also considered milestone. Okay, combination of Gantt chart and milestone, and so or you can have this way also. A lot of way on how you want to write your milestones and Gantt chart, right? Okay, and the last one should be your performance. How do you measure your performance, right? So, how do you intend? What do you how do you intend to solve? No, not solve. Solve is methodology, right? How do you intend to analyze your data? Okay, and then what do you see from your after your experiment? What do you see from there? How do you interpret the result? Okay, how do you know that your findings achieve your objective? How do you know that your findings is at par with other researchers? How do you prove that your findings is better than other researchers? Okay, how do you measure your result? How do you do the statistical analysis if you are using statistical analysis? What are the tools that you plan to use here? What are the things that you plan to analyze your data? Okay, or what are the things that you plan to measure the performance? If you are going for accuracy, okay, so how do you measure accuracy? Are you finding for precision and recall? That's all. Okay, so it's not the result that we want from you, because this is only plan, right? We don't have any result. Yeah, how do how do we write this performance? We want to see how you plan for the measuring the performance. Okay, so this is the part. Again, a lot of applicants or students lack of, okay, in the proposal, right? So proposal usually in this part, for student, they usually come out with expected result. Yes, also can. You already know what you are going to get. What do you expect to obtain from your work? This is what we want to see in the plan, okay, your research plan. And of course, lastly, you need to get ethical. That means you have to be ethics. If you need to get consent from your participant, your sampling, your subjects, please do so. Okay, just create a Google form or just create a written form and then ask them to signature. Yes, I agree to share my data. Yes, I agree to do this and agree to do this. Okay, if you're using animals, ask from the organizer, the organization that is involved, okay, veterinarians, or if you're asking for medical data, you have to go to hospitals or any ministry and so on. Okay, get the form signed. If not, okay, later, who knows, something happened, they will sue us and so on. We do not know. Okay, this one, anything can happen, right? So just prepare a simple form also can, as long as they put their signature on it, they agree, they understand what they are doing, they understand that what they are giving you, okay, and how you want to use their information, okay, and so on. Okay, so this is better if you go to face, right? Because with the online things like this, people is like, are you sure you won't do this? They are curious lah, our intention. Although our intention is only for research purpose, it's only for academic purposes and so on. But nowadays, with these deep fake things, with all the technology that we have, we can do a lot of things, right? So that is why you need to get the consent from the participants. Your how do you want to get it? Who's your sampling? Who's your subject? You have to mention in your research plan, right? So I think that's all for my topic, but I have a few like drawings or charts or some presentation that you can use. For example, instead of a Gantt chart just now, you can use this way. Okay, January you produce what, February you produce what, do what, and so on. Or this one also can, you can do it weekly planner also can, instead of like 2 years, 3 years, you can have weekly, monthly, and so on. Or okay, for analysis, we can use statistical analysis. We can use SWOT analysis. If this is for business, usually this is for business and case studies. You can use SWOT analysis, and of course other method. Okay, this is one example. Okay, this is WPS. Okay, before we create the schedule, before we create this Gantt chart, we should have this task. Remember we have this Gantt chart. We have task 1, task 2, task 3, right? But what is this task? Where do we get this task? Okay, how do we name this task? We cannot like say task 1, task 2, task 3, right? Because the funder, the one that give you money, what is task 1? Task 1, getting data. What is task 2? Analyze the data. Okay, what is task 10? A result. And then what is task 15? You're lost. So where do you get all this name? Usually it comes from the WBS. Okay, so WBS will be all the task names, right? So this is one example. For example, you want to build a tree house, right? So this is the task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. This is task 1.1, 2, and so on. So you can use this to put into your Gantt chart. So thank you very much for your time. Okay, thank you very much. I'm not sharing very well information, but I hope all this information will help you to get an idea what should you write for your thesis and what should you input in your grant application. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really an informative session, and I hope our participants learned a lot from your session, because as I can see this in the chat box. Now, if there is any question, then you people can ask. Otherwise, then we will end the session. Okay, Saurabh, we have a live stream on YouTube. So this YouTube is available all the time. So you can have access to it. I will request ma'am to share the PPT. So we will email to all the participants as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And you have taken time to take this session and accepted our invitation. And me, along with other organizer, Professor Bala Morgan, we are thankful for this session and looking forward for future collaboration with you for more research work. Hope to connect you soon in this regard.
Yeah, who knows, right? We might have a shared grant application.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am, because research work, if it is done in the collaboration, it is much more important these days.
Yeah.
So it's good
there is
that
no
we are
border
connected on this platform.
Yeah, it's a borderless world now, right? Yeah. So welcome anyone, right? Anyone in this session that would like to join me, of course, and then we can share our knowledge in security and image processing, even HCI. So I'm welcome everyone, anyone.
So we end this session now formally. And
Thank you very
thanks
much.
to all the
Thank you very much.
participants. And now Professor Bala Murugan is also connected with us. Would like to say a few words to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Professor Lily,
Hi,
for
Professor
accepting the
Bala.
invitation.
Yeah.
And it was really great pleasure. We were listening to each and every sentences of you, and it was really more informative. And you also covered what kind of plan we have to make for doing that funded project. And it was more global in nature. It was applicable for India as well as Malaysia. So it was really nice hearing you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
It's a very good initiative, Prof. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So all the participants, we will join back at 1 o'clock for session 2. So we end this meeting. And I again share the feedback link here so that you people can fill it and give the feedback for this session. Okay.
Thank you,
So,
everyone.
thank you.
Take care. Yeah. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.